Hey everyone, it's Jessica from Garcia's on Wheels, and today we're talking about what RV should you buy for full time. And this is whether you are stationary or full-time traveling, and we're gonna get into a little bit of that later on. Okay, so we're going to explain the different types of RVing that we came up with. So this is our terms. You can laugh at us all you want, but this is what we came up with. So there's full-time traveling. So you are traveling most of the year. You are seeing all these spots. You are having a blast. Then there's mostly traveling. And a lot of this, what we came up with is that for the people who are doing like work traveling. So they go to a place, they stay there, they explore, but then they work at the campground or whatever facility they're at for 2-3 months and they move to the next one. Then we have mostly stationary. That's what we are. So we take trips here and there, but our RV stays where it's at. And then there's full stationary, which means you may not even have wheels on your RV. So those are the types of RVing that we came up with. So now we're going to talk about the different types of RVs you can get. We have a Class A diesel, which is a big diesel pusher. So the diesel motor's in the back. It's a huge motorhome. They're really expensive. We have a Class A gas, which is a slightly smaller motorhome, and there's the gas engine in the front. We have a Class C, which has a truck front end, and they're usually smaller. We have a Class B, which is #van life. Those are the vans. We also have a fifth wheel, which is what we have. So you need a fifth wheel hitch to pull it. We also have toy haulers, which is a bigger fifth wheel, and they have a garage in the back that you can put ATVs or motorcycles. A lot of people have converted them into bedrooms. We also have travel trailers, which are bumper pulls. They're usually smaller, but you can get them pretty big and they're cheaper than fifth wheels most of the time. And then we have a teardrop, we have tent trailers, and then there are also some bus conversions that people have turned buses into RVs, so that's also pretty cool too. Now, here's some advice from us. If you are full-time traveling or full-time living, a teardrop and a tent trailer are probably not the best options. So we're gonna eliminate that from our list just for full-time RVing. Now, if you were camping or doing things like that, then you can get that because they're smaller. You just can't live in them. Now, whatever RV you choose, if you are full-time traveling, full-time living, and you're gonna be anywhere cold, make sure it has the 4 seasons package, which basically means your pipes ain't gonna freeze. So if you choose to full-time travel or mostly travel, what type of traveling are you doing? Now this is important because it helps pick out the size. So there's state and national parks, there's boondocking, there's glamping and RV resorts, and this helps us because it helps us determine the size. So for example, we have state and national parks. Most of the time, the size limit is 30 feet or shorter. Now for us, we have a 42-foot fifth wheel. We can't take that into state and national parks. So when we go visit them, we have to find RV campgrounds that are near there. So just keep that in consideration. What type of traveling are you doing? So now we're going to talk about if you are mostly stationary or going to be completely stationary. Now, if you're going to be any type of stationary, eliminate anything with engines because they cost way too much money and they're a lot more maintenance for something that is going to be stationary. So that eliminates Class A's, Class B's, Class C's, and those buses. Gone, goodbye. Now we're going to talk about travel trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers because those are what you would want if you are mostly stationary or stationary. So if you decide to do any type of stationary or mostly stationary, get the biggest thing you can afford with as many slides as possible. And why that is so important is space. You're going to be living in it full-time stationary. Now you have to think about all the storage space, the underneath space. How much stuff do you really have? For example, our first fifth wheel was 30 feet and 0 slides. And we did some upgrades and we made it look nice and we lived in it for a year. However, not having those slides really made us realize how much space we were losing. It was like living in a hallway. That's why we chose the fifth wheel we chose, not only because it has 4 slides, but it also has the extra room. There's a lot of storage space and cabinet space, and that fit our lifestyle. So now we're gonna talk about the different types of RVs that are better suited for mostly stationary and full-time stationary. So we have travel trailers, which is bumper pull, and these are normally smaller than fifth wheels. However, they do make some that are fairly large and have really nice layouts, and they're most of the time the cheapest of the bunch. Then we have fifth wheels. That's what we have. Fifth wheels have more of a house layout depending on the size that you get, and most of the time have a lot of slides. And then lastly, we have toy haulers. Now these are larger than fifth wheels, or can be because of that garage part. And because they have that garage part, a lot of people convert that into offices, bedrooms, whatever they want. They have the freedom to do that. However, these are most of the time the most expensive and the biggest of the bunch. So you have to take that into consideration depending on where you're gonna be putting it full time. So these are just some considerations to take when you are deciding what type of RV you should get for full-time living. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, click that thumbs up. We like seeing that thumbs up. It helps us know what type of videos to make in the future, and we'll see you on the next one. Now, just some words I need to get out.
I hear it all at like equal volume, so I'm like, what is this?
And I tune everything out.
Why is the tree moving? I hear a squirrel. And I'm like, I can't deal with all this. I can't work under these conditions.